Hello, tile friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Tile Money Podcast. This podcast is strengthening the tile industry. We're doing this with our business education designed for contractors by contractors. This education is helping tilers everywhere build sustainable, profitable businesses. The result in these discussions is a stronger industry from the installer up. All right, today I'm very excited about our guest. We've got another great interview. We've got a good discussion on attracting and landing larger and larger higher-end jobs with good profit. We're talking with Travis Ryley. Travis is the owner of Bell Building Group out of the state of Nebraska. And Travis shares a lot of solid posts inside the group. He's a builder, he's a tiler, he's a generational experience, multi-generations of tile experience and building experience. So when he shares posts inside the Tile Money Facebook group, they're valuable. And he shares his estimates and he shares how he goes about winning these jobs. And the other day, it was about a month ago in early March, he shared an estimate that was about $210,000. And that $210,000, that price was for the tile work inside just one residential home. So, of course, there was some naysayers who said he was overshooting it and how could that be, and that they could do it for about half of that price. And so he comes back about a week after that post with an update that he had signed the contract, but it wasn't for the 210 though. It wasn't for the 210. He had actually signed the contract closer to $250,000. And the reality is the way he wrote that preliminary estimate was the 250 was a preliminary, and it will no doubt go up once all the materials are chosen and the tile is chosen. So it's an exciting topic, and I'm glad to have Travis here today to get into this and kind of get to know him and his business a little bit more. Before I bring him on stage, though, I'd like to take a quick minute to thank our sponsors, the companies who are investing in you, the tile installer contractor out there in the field, the National Tile Contractors Association, the NTCA. You can make friends. That's where you will find and make friends with your 5 best friends. Professional. It's the oldest association and the largest in the world, really, for tile contractors. The NTCA is where you will find a lot of valuable resources. You can join them today and visit them at tile-assn.com to find out more about what they have to offer. We also have Lay Decree International is one of our sponsors. They're one of the oldest tile manufacturers of installation materials for tile installers. One of the oldest in the world and made right in America. In fact, they are credited with the invention of thinset. They're a family-owned and operated, privately held company, and they're continuing to lead the way in innovative products for tile contractors today. You can try their latest grout, which is breaking all the rules. It's a single component grout that gets better ratings, higher ratings than epoxy grout. And Spectralock 1 can be purchased wherever you're purchasing Lay Decree products. You can now find it in most floor and decors. So that's exciting news. GoBoard is another sponsor of ours. GoBoard is a lightweight tile backer board from Johns Mansville, and it's a waterproof tile backer board. It's lightweight, easy to cut with a utility knife, easy to handle and install. And with their full line of GoBoard products, you can build a complete waterproof shower assembly with all of their products. And time is money, and GoBoard is designed to save you time and earn you more money. HappyTileGuy.com, that's the best place to get your done-with-you professional website built. If you need a website, go over to HappyTileGuy.com. And last but certainly not least, all my patrons, I'm so grateful to have financial support from the listeners of this podcast. If you're benefiting from this podcast, I encourage you to check out supporting me and becoming a patron today for as little as $5 a month. All right, let's bring Travis on. Hey, Travis.
Hey, Luke. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. You share a lot of good stuff inside the group, and it's been fun getting to know you there. And now I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better. Why don't you give us the 10,000 foot overview? You're Travis Ryley, and you've got a building group. What does that mean? Kind of what does your company look like today?
Well, Bell Building Group started 6 years ago. I have one employee. Uh, previous, my uncle started tile in the 70s. My dad joined him in the 80s. I've been doing tile on job sites with them through junior high, high school. And then 6 years ago, started my business. Before that, I was in the granite industry for 20 years, fabricating, running CNCs, programming CNCs, templating, installation. And I'm here today now. So,
Okay. Well, that's a well-rounded history and apprenticeship there. No doubt you learned a lot of valuable things. Now, you're also doing more than just tile today, right?
correct. The Bell Building Group side of things, it's just myself, one employee. My wife does a lot of the estimating and billing, those types of things, invoices. The group part is all my subcontractors, plumbers, electrical, HVAC, drywall guys, framers, you name it. I can do those things, but it's faster just to sub it out, mark up a profit off the top of them, and keep moving forward. And currently, right now, I have 6 jobs going between just tile work and/or remodels going from bathrooms, kitchens, a whole house, etc.
Okay. So with one employee and your contractors, you're able to keep 6, 7 jobs going at once. That's pretty good. That's really commendable.
Thank you.
It's a lot of work.
It is. Stay up late nights, late
Mm,
nights, early mornings. Yep.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you got where you're at today, because obviously, coming up, learning the tile, learning, fabricating and different things, from the time you struck it out on your own, what kind of, progress or, growth has your company seen over the years?
Started out when I decided to remove myself from a granite fabricator. I was a project manager for them doing kitchen and bathroom remodels for almost 10 years. When I was seeing the profit that he was making from me doing just the estimate side of things and not physically doing any of the work, I decided I need to do this on my own. So the first year out, it was mostly concentrated on remodels and tile work, all by word of mouth. I made a lot of contacts, obviously being in the granite industry. So I started hitting the ground hard, talking to builders that I worked previously for, doing the countertops. Got a few opportunities. A lot of it was track home type stuff. My first builder, they were doing at the time, 6 years ago, about 60 to 70 homes a year. It ranged from the smallest side of things, like a master shower with a mud pan and a kitchen backsplash. And then the next house for them would be tile floor in the master, a tile floor in the main bathroom, the master shower backsplash type things. Moving on, kept finding more builders, getting more builders. At one time, I had another employee, so there was 3 of us total. I had 7 builders that year, probably the most profitable year, to say the least. Just got tired of doing quality control. We were doing about 2 houses a week, all different types of sizes and that type of stuff. Just got tired of the quality control. I spent about the next year and a half just touching up stuff from the guy not installing properly. So I removed him after about a 6-month, 9-month stint with my company.
When you were going strong like that, did you have more employees?
It was just 3 of us.
3 of you?
So,
Yeah.
yep. I'd have supposedly the guy had 12 years experience. After I saw about the 6 months in, I realized he wasn't installing to TCNA standards, and I had to remove him. And I paid for about the next year and a half, fixing his stuff and redoing his stuff and so forth. Yeah.
So why not double down kind of when you had these builders, 6, 7 builders, obviously they were probably wanting you to take on more work, right? I mean, there was more opportunity. And a lot of people would double down, maybe hire a few more installers, maybe get a field manager, right? And a lot of times this sounds really good, and it could be really good, but it's not for everybody. So what was going through your mind? Why did you make the decision to kind of step away from that type of work?
I wasn't enjoying it anymore. It was just more of a hassle. Didn't enjoy going to work, waking up, just dreading going to work every day, trying to figure out how to get it all done. There's a decent amount of installers, qualified installers here. At the time, I didn't know them, which obviously they're all business owners. And with doing track homes, I mean, there wasn't a lot of profit to sub that type of work out.
Mm-hmm. So you wanted a better quality of life, right? First of all.
Yes.
And then it sounds like a better quality of work too, something that you were
Correct.
excited.
Yes.
You were excited to show up in. So what was that transition like? Tell me about that transition now. Was it, was it easy? 'Cause now you're doing, quite a bit different style work, which I guess we haven't really clarified, but.
Correct. It was hard to cut ties with those builders, because I did do work for them for multiple years, but rebranding myself and getting back out into the remodel and building side of things for kitchens and baths, it took maybe a month or two. A lot of Facebook posts on like buy sell trade pages. I only have a Facebook page. It went relatively quick once posting more on those buy sell trade pages and sharing Facebook posts and those types of things.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. And it probably helped that you weren't in a position where, you kind of came into it with some confidence, right? Because you knew like, hey, if this doesn't work, I'm making money still, right?
Correct. Yep. I did keep one builder, which I didn't have previously with the other 7, kind of fell into my lap. I ran into him at a Menards, and which is just a big box store here locally. Looked for a tile guy. They weren't happy with their tile guy. They met with him multiple times, gave him my list of products, said I really don't budge from these products, and which is all Laticrete products, and offer the warranty, and it took off, and that's how I have the $250,000 job. So
nice. So that builder obviously values the quality and the fact that you have your process. He could see those types of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before even the $250,000 job, there's one that's $100,000 that's in framing stage currently too for that same builder.
Yeah, I was going through some of your posts, and large jobs are not abnormal for you. But is this kind of one of the larger jobs, the 250?
Yeah, that'll probably be the largest single job for my company.
Well, let's get into it a little bit. So it's essentially all things that fall under a sub tile contractor, right?
Correct. Yep. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
You mentioned, in addition to the tile, was there some, I want to say some stonework, some cladding stonework, or
Nope, not on
no?
that particular one.
Oh,
It'll be all tile work. Some of the reason due to the cost being so high, I with the Laticrete rep Jeremy Von Ruden, we've been discussing back and forth on the different products, and to keep the timetable moving forward, I thought about just self-leveling the entire house from the basement, the main floor, and the second story. Every room in that house has tile except for the 4 or 5 bedrooms. Every bathroom is floor to ceiling tile on the walls. There's 7 showers in the house. I mean, there's just a lot of work. And I was talking with the builder about just timetable. I said, I could spend months just prepping everything. What about doing the Laticrete super cap truck? And he said, if we can save a month's worth of prep, let's move forward with the super cap truck. So as of right now, that's the way we're going, and so forth.
Nice. So this job was large enough to qualify for the super cap truck. That's what I was thinking of when I was I was trying to think of the word,
Sure.
and it might be a little early, and I maybe misread what you wrote. But the super cap, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking was different about this job. Now, that there has to be a minimum order of that. So that, I mean, obviously with 7 bathrooms, this is a huge house. So it's interesting, getting with your reps, like your Latacrete rep, Jeremy,
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with a solution to problems is typically will sometimes win the job over price.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
So having this solution, like, hey, we can cut out a lot of time here.
Yeah, I mean, it
and
went from months to one day. So
yeah,
it saves a lot of time. I can get tiling and get in and out sooner too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. So,
Correct.
so when you, so you have this super cap contract, right? It's in your estimate and your contract.
Yep. Correct. Yep. I got
And you'll be hiring some temporary help to get that in one day, or
correct. Yep. Yep. I'll be
okay,
calling on some of the guys that are here locally to help out on that. Mm-hmm.
cool. It's good to have friends.
It is, especially when you get that large job.
And so what else is going into the prep? What are you thinking timeline for prepping those showers and walls, and before you set tile, how many weeks are you thinking will be prep on this job?
I'm probably going to tackle it floor by floor, tackle the basement first. So that way the trimmer can get in there. Then I can move to the main floor and that type of stuff. So after the self-leveling's poured, I imagine their standard houses take me about a week to clean all the mud off the subfloor and get that properly prepped. And then another week to install Stratomat, Hydroband board, pour my pans, and those types of things. That scale of job, I'm guessing it's going to be double. So probably a month just to prep
Yeah,
showers for the whole house, and then start setting tile. At least that's
yeah.
my goal. I can't promise anything, but it's going to be long days, long nights.
Yeah, I believe that. But I that makes sense the way you're going to approach it, knock one floor out completely, pole off, let the other trades get in. That
Mm-hmm.
makes for a good relationship, and I'm sure your builder appreciates that,
Yeah,
It's good to attack
correct.
these things with a plan. What now tell me, none of the tile is chosen, right? So this is just preliminary.
Correct. Yep. Basically, it's just standard for 12 by 24s. Obviously, if it's going to go to plank or go to large format tile, the price is going to raise per square foot.
Mhm.
Walls, showers, everything, floors, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. What goes into what's going through your mind when you're writing this up and you're noticing, man, this is really this price is really, I mean, you go look at the job, you walk the job, this is going to be a high price job, but oftentimes when we go home, we have 12 hours, 8 hours to think about it. We're working the estimate up, and it's creeping up there. I mean, did you have any head trash? Like, man, this is way too much money.
Yeah, I did at first. One of the secondary things, besides the Super Cap truck, I'm going to be using a new product, to me, anyways, TI Pro board. The entire almost 1,200 square foot deck is going to have TI Pro board 3701, and then waterproofing, including the stairs going down to the basement ground level. Um, so it's going to be a whole new experience using that product as well, and it's not cheap. So between the Super Cab truck, the TI Pro board, and those exterior applications, it just kept driving the price up. Not knowing what it's going to take to install those, because I've never installed that product before. Again, speaking to the reps has helped a ton. I did speak to a guy locally about the TI Pro board. He's done probably 20 some decks with the product, and asked him which products work best that he's used. He uses a multitude of manufacturers to make his deck seem proper to him. Um, I have a pretty good idea of what it's going to take to get it done, but it's still in the back of my mind. It's probably not all there and still scary at some point.
Yeah, the exterior applications up there. You're in Nebraska. Is this job in Nebraska?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So more thought has to go into those, right? A lot of
Yeah, with
thought.
the freeze and thaw cycle and just the unexpected weather that can happen from day to day, hour by hour here, it's going to be a challenge.
So there's a large portion of this job that's material costs, specialized materials, right? Do you mind sharing about how much? I mean, it doesn't have to be on the head.
I want to say it's around 75,000 for just
Okay.
materials.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it's like eight or nine pallets of thin set, 2 pallets of 3701, a pallet and a
Wow.
half of hydro band board. It just, I think there's a pallet of just grout for PCS.
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
be grouting for days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So what kind of, do you have a pretty good markup on, you're making money on those materials too, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it's roughly ranging between 30 to 40% for just materials. I still got to stay competitive per square foot because most builders around here want a per square foot price.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Walls, I'm roughly between $7-8 a square foot. Obviously, accents and niches and shelves, all those types of things are extras. On floors, I'm between 650 somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So competitive prices.
yeah,
Were you the only bidder, the only tile bidder on this
yes,
job, or? Okay.
correct. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So
Yeah,
you didn't.
I'm their only tile guy. They have. I'm supposed to be at a house this week, starting for them, was just a smaller one, and then another one next week. So they have 5 or 6 houses going, plus more in the future as well. So
Mm-hmm.
they're
Okay.
roughly 600,000 plus houses.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Nice. Nice. So I've done preliminary bids like this before where it was 12 by 24, everywhere. And then the homeowner starts, adding like thin tile, glass tile,
Hmm.
shells, like really, different kinds of difficult tiles, three different tiles in the same shower, different thicknesses and all
Correct.
that good stuff.
Yep. It's yeah. I can't wait to see the selection. Right now, the spec sheet says everything's laid straight, so I'm hoping it's laid straight. I can get in now a lot faster.
It could be. I mean, I've seen some really big, nice homes where the tile was, for lack of a better word, just, mundane or,
Clean,
pretty
just simple and clean.
simple and clean. And that's what some people want. But when it comes to, reality and a lot of people picking out stuff, and spending the big bucks on the really nice difficult tile, and then your price, I mean, might double. I mean, how do you approach that conversation? Are you already kind of prepping to approach that conversation?
Well, in my estimate, I put at the very bottom, this estimate's basically just install 12 by 12, either laid straight or thirds. I don't break up my price for thirds or laid straight. When it gets to the plank or, 24 by 24, 2 foot by 4 foot, whatever it is, I go out and physically measure the job right at, mechanical stage. Put over the square foot, adjust my quote because at that time I already have the tile selections, and then I adjust the quote accordingly, and then send it over. And usually within a couple of days, if they have questions or they forward it over to the homeowner, I'll adjust it again. They'll go maybe make another selection of tile and just go back and forth a few times. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had that with any of their previous homeowners. It's always just been a go.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, that's
Yeah,
good. That's real good.
yeah, yeah. Can't
It's
complain.
yeah, yeah. It's good to have that open communication from day one. Hey, this is what it is.
Hmm.
It's written clearly. It's stated in the proposal, and that way they know. They know what they're getting. Really, there should be no question about. Hey, we chose a different tile, and
Correct.
price is going to go up, and no doubt you'll handle that. Now, I want to thank you again for sharing the post inside Tile Money. I really love it when people share their estimates and kind of their thought process behind things. you had like 100 comments on this post in March.
Yeah, I can imagine. I
Were,
didn't read them all, but a lot.
were you surprised by any of the comments or the feedback you got?
Not really. I think a lot of people are shocked. I mean, that is a high number. I never thought I would be. That's the when the builder sent over the blueprint, he said it's going to blow the other one out of the water, which was the $100,000 one. And I'm like, I can't be that much bigger. And then I just kept chipping away at it and chipping away at it. And I mean, it was 2.5 pages of notes of what rooms and so forth. I mean, the house is ridiculous. I mean, there's a golf simulator room, a billiard room, massage room, basketball court, gymnastics room. I mean, some of those rooms aren't getting tile, obviously, but I mean, there's a front bar and a back bar and a deck. And I mean, every single bathroom at least has a minimum of one wall that is floor to ceiling tile. The master bathroom is floor to ceiling tile throughout the whole room. It's going to be some work. So
It's a monster house.
Yeah.
I'm always curious because I've lived and worked in Monterey, California, and places like Pebble Beach, right there, where you did have some of these monster homes, and obviously the price of everything is just sky high. But here we have this job in Nebraska, and I'm unique because I'm also from like North Dakota, where I saw some
Sure.
of these big homes, going in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to focus on this, to kind of drill it home to the audience. Sometimes I'm in these groups or Instagram or, whatever, and people are like, oh, you're out in when I was in California, you're out in California. Well, you guys must charge a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. Well, the reality is competition is very steep up and down the coast, and especially in Southern California. And a lot of times, I talk to friends and Nebraska, Minnesota, Ohio, who are actually charging better money than most contractors in California. And it's something to think about. If you're out there and you're a young man or woman and you're thinking about starting a business, or maybe you're thinking about moving, we see a lot of this. It's something to think about, because what type of people are these? Are these farmers, or do you have a inclination to what kind of people are building these monster homes in Nebraska?
I'm not for sure what this particular guy does, but per capita, I know we have a lot of multimillionaires. The current house I'm sitting in front of, I mean, the guy owns I don't want to say what store, like a back fixing store, like a teeter hang up, maybe beds. I've
Sure.
never been to a store, and it's a $800,000 home in a gated community. A lot of business owners are here. A lot of tech people are moving from California to here. We have
Right.
Facebook, a massive Facebook plant going in currently. Google's moving in next door. There's just a lot of things going on here, and taxes, they're high, but they're not as high as other places. Cost of living is relatively really, really cheap. It's when there was the 2008 crash, I was working for the countertop company at the time, and we never ever seen a slowdown. We call it the Omaha bubble. Like, everything happens around us. Usually people will gear back a little bit, but not to the scale of other cities. So it's really beneficial for myself and having the clientele that I have, and being in that upper bracket for homes and those types of things. I don't think those types of people worry about a crash, or they have that kind of money that it's not going to affect them as much as someone like you or I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It is interesting. There's a lot of value in what you just shared there, with, hey, Google's coming here, Facebook's coming here. It's interesting to watch those companies, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
watch those companies and kind of look at the cities and the states where they're moving to, because you are right. So many of them can build their large warehouses or, house their computers or whatever they need
Mm-hmm.
to do for such a fraction of the cost. And speaking about fraction of the cost, land in a place like Nebraska is so much cheaper than California. What happens in California, by the time you get your land, you sometimes are already at $1 million.
Correct.
and then it's like, well, I'm going to build I'm going to build $500,000 2,000 square foot house. Whereas in Nebraska, it's the complete opposite. You buy a piece of land for $100,000 and you put $1 million, 7,000 square foot house, 4,000 square foot house, whatever it is, on that piece of land, and you get your mini castle.
Correct. There's I don't know the name of the company, but they're based out of Minneapolis. They transport the mail for the U.S. Postal Service, and they built a house here, and they said it was a quarter size of their house in Minneapolis. It was probably 15,000 square foot home, and it was a quarter of the size of their original house. I about fell over. Parks their 53-foot RV inside of the garage in the basement. I mean, it's ridiculous. Some of the houses that I've worked in doing granite countertops. We have Peter Kiewit here. I mean, so there's a large commercial construction company. All of those owners are multimillionaires. We have, Warren Buffett here. Granted, he spends his money, but not like most people. But all of the Berkshire Hathaway stockholders, there's a lot here. I mean, there's just a lot of money per capita sitting in Omaha, and there's more people moving in from California and the East Coast because of the cost of living.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Now, Bell Building Group, obviously you're doing, and you have a larger vision than tile, right? You're doing more than just tile.
Correct. Go ahead.
Oh, I just noticed the sun in your face. Did you want to?
Oh, sorry.
No, it doesn't bother me.
All right, there we go.
Didn't want you to be uncomfortable.
Nope, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, we do full bathroom, kitchen remodels, basement finishes. Currently doing a whole house remodel. My neighbor had an electrical fire last July. Luckily, it's mostly just interior stuff, so it was a complete gut. Right now, we're at cabinet trim stage there. It's just a full working circle with the subcontractors that I have. They're the subcontractors that I used when I was the project manager at the countertop company I worked at. So I have about a 15, 16-year relationship with those guys. I don't have to babysit them. All my jobs have door key codes on them, so they know the code. They go in, they get their stuff done. They let me know when they're finished so I can get the next subcontractor in there. I don't have to babysit, and I love that with the subcontractors that I have.
Nice. Sounds like a great working relationship. That's awesome.
Congratulations. It's amazing. Thanks.
Yeah. And no doubt you've worked hard to develop those relationships over the years, and you're seeing them for what they are. They're very valuable and keeping everybody happy, right? You happy, the client happy, the subcontractors happy.
Yes.
What's the hardest part about this whole thing? I mean,
some days time management, just there's not enough hours in the day to hit every house myself. Sometimes I'll send my guy to go check on things. He's been with me the full 6 years. He was my neighbor for 5-6 years, so we used to go on family vacations together. It's just a lot of trust and communication between the subs, myself, the homeowner.
Yeah. What's the next step? What's your vision? Where are you going from here?
Get off my hands and knees. That's the biggest thing. Just trying to find that next person to take over installing tile and doing the stuff that I enjoy doing, but to grow the business, I can't be on my hands and knees. I gotta meet clients and keep doing estimates and those types of things.
Are you actively looking for that person?
Yes and no. I got a couple boys, so hopefully one of them want to take over and jump into that side of things here in the next few years. It's hard to find because everyone that would probably take my place already owns a business. I mean, because I can bring someone in, train them, and let them do that. But if they're intelligent enough, they're going to go start their own business, and more power to them. And I'm fine doing that as well. I don't don't want to hold anyone ever down. They need to spread their wings and go if they need to.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I know it's a subject that comes up an awful lot, right? Everybody's looking for help.
Yeah, it's hard here. It's hard everywhere.
Yeah.
Find good help. Just someone to show up is hard enough.
I almost wonder if like an Indeed.com type, almost putting like a nationwide, job or help wanted post out there would be good for someone like in your situation, because all of a sudden, we have all those benefits that we talked about, living in Nebraska, lower cost of lower cost of home, lower cost of lifestyle. And then, kind of what you get in those places is a little bit, you usually end up with more toys, a little bit richer lifestyle. Whereas like out in California and on the East Coast, your toys is a pair of basketball shoes and a basketball or something real simple like that,
Right.
And then you move to Minnesota, Nebraska, the Midwest, and you got snowmobiles and jet skis and,
four-wheelers and UTVs and all that stuff. Yep.
So your lifestyle goes up. So I'm wondering, just spitballing kind of for the benefit of the listener in general, like somebody in your situation puts a ad out like on one of these nationwide companies like Indeed. I'd be curious to see how well that does, because maybe you attract that person, that individual who's just, maybe they are a business owner, but hey, I mean, I hired a business owner in California and he was just he was like your typical tile contractor or average contractor where it was working 7 days a week with no end in sight. And he wanted to work his 8 hours and go home.
Correct.
And
there's some days I won't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So a nice, attractive, help wanted post with the bennies and the company mission and vision might attract what you're looking for. I only say this to, try to be encouraging and positive. I know, like one person said the other day, it's like finding a unicorn, right?
Yes. The bad thing is trying to find a place to live here. The houses they're selling in 1 or 2 days, and the market's ridiculous. It's
everywhere right now.
Correct. Yeah. It's bad. There's more people looking for homes and not enough homes to sell.
Yeah, it's wild times.
It is.
With the price of materials and the price of homes, I mean, they're still going for over asking price quick, like you said.
Yeah. 2 houses down from me was on for a half a day, and it sold for almost 700,000 sitting on a lake. I mean, it went fast, shockingly. So now I'm fixing mine up to do the same thing if I can get it done in time.
Yeah. There you go. Well, listen, Travis, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you've got a busy day ahead, and I want to thank you again for taking the time out, sitting in your truck and having this conversation. I know it's going to be beneficial to a lot of people listening. Where can people find you? You said your company's on Facebook, Bell Building Group. Are you on Instagram or anything like that? Or
nope, as of right now, just Facebook. My wife and we're just busy, and we want to get on Instagram and do other things. It's just trying to find the time to do it. 5 kids and sports and life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it doesn't sound like you really necessarily need to do that right now for your business sake or whatever. You're so busy.
I've been turning work down here the last couple days, or telling them I'm 2 years out, because that's what it's probably going to be between just the 2 jobs and their other work that they got going on for the new construction side of things. So yeah. Very, very, very fortunate. Can't complain.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Congratulations on your success, Travis. And again, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Have a good day.
Yes. Thank you, Luke, for having me on, and good luck, everyone. Enjoy tile money. I do.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I was scrolling through the Facebook, and back in December 30th, you were on vacation, and you were listening to Tile Money. You shared a post. You were listening to Tile Money on vacation on the beach, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, we were in Houston, or just south of Houston, in Kama, Texas. Went there for Christmas and New Year's, and I was still doing estimates on vacation, listening to Tile Money. So yeah.
So friends, listen to Tile Money, be like Travis, and you're going to win the 250K jobs.
Yeah, just don't be scared. Just put it out there. Worst thing they can say is no. And if they say no, that's not your customer that you want. I've come to that realization here really quick. If they can't afford me, they can't afford me. And it's beneficial to work less and make more money.
That's all right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Travis, I'll let you go now for real. Take care.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, Tile friends. That was another great interview with Travis. I really appreciate him sharing and opening up his business a little bit with us and sharing his insights. So thanks again, Travis. I appreciate it. Tile friends, like and subscribe to this podcast everywhere podcasts are heard. If you like watching it, you can watch it on YouTube. You can join the Tile Money Facebook group and be part of these discussions. So thanks for listening. I appreciate all of you. Stay positive out there. And for goodness sakes, Tile friends, stay profitable.